All right, welcome everybody. Today is Wednesday, September 15th. My name is Greg Wojtyla. I am the superintendent of North Tonawanda City Schools. And we're here with our weekly update to offer some updates as well as answer questions. So, luckily, school year is going well. We're just about a week and a day in now, and we've had two positive COVID cases, but none of them related to school. Parents had kept them out, they weren't feeling well, and we got those notifications that they were COVID positive, so there wasn't contact tracing or anything along those lines. We continue to meet weekly with the Department of Health, and as I mentioned, we are working on the details for staff that need to provide vaccination status or weekly testing. So that's been an ongoing job here, and we're getting that up and running. We'll be starting that this week. So that's a good thing. So the more we can get going, the more it becomes the new normal. And then we adjust daily because the state tends to change what the new normal is for school districts on a daily basis. So I was watching the governor this morning, and she stated that they're going to move the mask mandate into the daycare centers, sort of thing. So that'll be a big change and a lot to figure out down there. Luckily, though we are pre-K through 12, so that doesn't affect us. And the big thing coming up is that we are trying to operate as normal as possible, which means open houses will be continuing. They are in the district calendar that should have been mailed home to everybody. And our first one is tomorrow at NTI, our intermediate building. So there are some changes. We're asking that only one adult come to keep the numbers low. Mask must be worn, and in our larger buildings, there is a separation by grade level or alphabet so that we don't have thousands of people in one spot at one time. Let's see, our first question here. Question in bullying. Parents have gone to the high school principal. Being relentlessly on, even though he had. Okay, let's see. So Linda, it sounds like you're working with the high school administration, so I'll call them, see what's going on, talk to our SRO that's there as well, and see what is exactly happening and how we can do our next step, and then reach back out to you. So, yeah. So then the next step with that piece is what we've talked about at the board level for a number of years is, do you ban cell phones and cell phone use? And that's kind of gone both ways. There's reasons for both, right? To have them and not to have them. So, but yes, we should be able to, with cameras and eyewitnesses, like you're saying, that are seeing this, be able to catch those people and take care of that. So as far as the open houses, back to that go, we have everyone doing a version of it. Like I said, we're going to be opening them up. There is no restriction right now for outdoor sports. Indoor sports, though, we do have to watch that, require masks for that for indoor. But everything else seems to be progressing normally, and that's a good thing. Every day there's something new, though, something we didn't think of or something that we thought of, and then there's an exception to the rule, or people are asking for an exception to the rule. So we'll have to continue to work on that and see where and when the next one will come up. As far as the board goes, our next public meeting is Wednesday, October 6th. That will be at 6:30 here at the administration building, which is in the old Gilmore School building on Walk Road. So we encourage you. That is also put out for live for people to watch if you can't get here. We are in an old kindergarten classroom, so we do have to restrict sometimes the number that will be in there to keep in the safety limits, but it hasn't been a problem yet. But we do encourage people to either contact us ahead of time so we can answer questions and then you can watch it on live, or stop in and talk to the board directly. We'll be doing our 5-year planning this year with the staff and parents and students, so please watch for that. We have our first sort of kickoff meeting with that coming up next week. And then from there, we'll be setting out like timeline for when we meet with the different groups. So that should be coming out in a week or two. So if you're interested in helping with that, we'd love to have your participation. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Do the younger kids, ones not in school yet, still get access to free lunches, breakfast like last year? No, I don't believe so. That's been up for question and debate. But if they're in a daycare setting, there should be provisions for that. We don't, since the schools are full, all the staff we have that were able to bag lunches and then man them outside are busy in school preparing lunches and serving the students who are here. So that's not been a requirement by the state, but like I said, things can change daily. I've not seen any picture dates for NTI or Drake. Are they scheduling or am I missing them in the calendar? They're probably not in the calendar because um, they work with the individual principals and the picture company for what days and times and schedules work best for them. And they would be sending those messages home probably through Seesaw and Schoology. If your students have that, you can look for messages from the principal on that or the classroom teachers, as well as in the younger grades, we still send home flyers. They should all be taking place, though, in the next couple of weeks into October. Thanks for the help. I do know she called for help from the bathroom stall. Right, well, I'll follow up with them after this live. Curb to Curb was removed from my son's IEP. So who do I need to call to find out why? So I know we were doing a lot of the CSE meetings when we were updating them, Zoom last year. And so we thought most of the parents were there and involved. But if that did happen, you want to start with the special ed department. Here, it's let's see, general number for them, just so I get to the right place. It's going to be the 807 exchange, and you can start with, let's see, 3533 for special ed, and then they can kind of dig into it there to see from there where you need to go. Okay, so people are saying thank you, and then the one person says Interstate Studios has them up. So I'm assuming they're referring to the pictures, days, and times in the buildings. But they'll also be sending it home from the building as well. Uh, Transportation, I appreciate everybody's patience with that. It's always difficult the first week back. As I mentioned last week, we have parents, everyone wants to just tell the bus driver one thing, but when you have 30 to 40 or more students on a bus and every parent wants to stop and talk for, even if it's 30 seconds, it put us behind quite a bit. Um, the first week, but I've been getting reports that those times are getting better and we should have more of a schedule set for them. So we appreciate everybody being patient this first week while we get, especially our little ones, used to bus riding, where the stops are, who they're sitting with, where they sit, and all those things. So thank you for that as well. We do have a number of exciting kind of like just community projects going on with our Wall of Fame. So if you get to come over for any of the sporting events, that's in the Fine Arts Center between the auditorium and the new gym. We encourage you to take a look at that. We're going to have our TNT game this year, and we're also going to be having a homecoming in October on the 15th, where people are invited to come back in, and we're hoping that everything stays well with COVID so that we can do things as normal as possible for that. So mark your calendars, and we'd love to see you out here on the school because it's been quiet the last couple years with COVID, and we're excited to get back to more normal. The iPad insurance, yes. So we're changing that a little bit, and there will be insurance. There is coverage right now for those kids who have it. The district is kind of watching that and maintaining that, and we'll be getting information out soon. Part of the process with iPads is that, like any computer, as soon as you buy it, it's almost out of date. So we're waiting for a shipment because all school districts were looking for more devices for kids. And even though we put in our order in the normal time, There's certain chips and micros that weren't there to complete our order. So once we get all the iPads in, we'll be sending out information to parents, and I'll explain it here in the coming weeks on how the insurance is going to work differently. It'll be more um, universal insurance, and it will be cheaper. So that's a good thing. So don't panic about that. And in the meantime, um, we have a plan in place for each building. So more information to come on that. Not enough parking for drop off and pickup at the middle school. Very congested. Had to get in the school driveway, hoping it won't get short. Yeah, so that also, we're not used to that. For the last year, under the hybrid, we've enjoyed the lighter traffic lines and not as congested at all our school buildings. I've noticed it in the mornings at all the school buildings, and especially on a rainy morning or a colder morning where parents are dropping off. The middle school, though, does have the option of pulling into the high school lot closer to Ted's Hot Dogs down at that end. When you go past the high school, there is a loop in front of the Fine Arts Center, and they do let the kids in on that end as well. And we noticed that not a ton of parents are taking advantage of that. Walking distance for kids are the same because where they have to walk in to get to the cafeteria is sort of in the middle of the building. It might even be closer if you're dropping your student off for breakfast to use that high school loop. And then you have the luxury of the stoplight to get in and out, where at the middle school right now there's not a stoplight, so it's a little bit dicier. So if you want to take advantage of that, that should help at the middle school overall if more kids can, parents can drop off at the high school one. Again, that's in front of the Fine Arts Center. So you can go past the high school, and then it's the last loop before the curve to get out. We also, some of you may have heard in the news that the Tonawanda Coke plant closed, and you're saying, why is he talking about chemical plants in Tonawanda? But part of their settlement for closing is that they had to give grants away to school districts and communities, and we have a grant opportunity to improve playground areas here with the school. We know we can do more at NTI, where we have the walking track and a small playground as well. So we wrote a grant for that to kind of enhance that and move our playgrounds to where our intermediate and elementary school buildings are, and sort of get them off the Meadow Drive where it's more teenagers. So we're going to be posting that on Facebook, and we encourage people to take a minute to go in and vote on that. That'll be open September 20th through September 26th, and we're very hopeful that we get that. So the more information we can get out about that, the better it'll be. And you'll see all the, the city and other communities that are putting in for those grants. So we're hopeful that North Tonawanda can take advantage of that. So please take a minute to follow the Facebook link and vote during September 20th to 26th for that piece. We have low COVID rates. Let's hope it stays there. We're getting everything in place. We're seem to be back to normal, and we're excited to have a normal school year. So, before I'm back next week, we're always available. Start with your student's teacher. Start then with the administrators, and then we work on it. And I will follow up with the high school about what's going on there. But so I appreciate you telling me that here as well. So I want to wish everybody to stay healthy and safe. And we'll be back next week, same time, 2 o'clock Wednesday. And then as we move into October, we'll have some evening Facebook Lives as well, and maybe go to every other week if things stay quiet with the 2 o'clock one. So we'll see how that works out. But we want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity to ask their question through this venue, and we might be looking at adding an evening one instead of just the daytime ones. But I do watch the comments. There's a couple of us that get those notifications, and if you watch this after hours, like you get home from work and you put this on to watch quickly and you have a question, you can still send it there, but that's not monitored 24/7. So if you need an instant reply, your best bet is to make a phone call so that we can get that message to the right person. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe, and let's go Lumberjacks. Let's hope we have a successful season in all our sports. All right, take care. Bye-bye.